Okay, this is gonna be a quick one because I got a call in like 20 or 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Uh, trying to make it happen. But I haven't worked on it since the last video. So like where we left off is basically we need to like update the the solver to work with the new sort of like buffer layout. So basically, we're still gonna have this sort of like concept of like, okay, with a box, we evaluate a quad, then we evaluate a layout. Now, when we actually want to evaluate the quad, we still kind of like this area is for quad evaluations. Um, and then like down here is probably all gonna be the same. But it's just like eval quad field sort of needs to change because basically what we're gonna want to do is like we could say like we could pass in a mask and we could pass in a field. So we could say something like inline auto eval quad field and then say solve context ctx stood uint8t mask and then a reference to a float to get the value. Or maybe we'd put the value at the end. Or, well, I don't know. Let's just see. Let's just see because like have you ever guys written a bunch of code like where you sort of have like this like somewhat repeatable procedure, but like okay, now we need to specify which field this applies to. Oh, but now we need to specify a mask and the field to actually set, and then it's sort of like you're specifying the same information in like a redundant way where it's just like why not just like copy like you're kind of almost doing extra logic to generalize something that like maybe shouldn't be generalized, but like let's just see how this looks. So if we have um if the if it's already resolved, don't do anything. Okay. Then we want to eval given the current context. And then if it works, we're going to say mask. And then we're going to say that's just going to be the value. And we can literally just do that. Um, oh, no, we need, yeah. We need to, we can't just, yeah. But this honestly doesn't look too bad, right? We set it to a value. And so what this looks like is we say this is going to look something like eval quad field ctx quad mask left and then ctx.current quad dot left, and then so it's gonna look something like that. I mean that is what it's gonna look like. So we can comment this out for now. I don't even know if we need that. Not really sure. Okay, so this is what evaluating a quad looks like, but now we need to know where to actually look, right? And so this is where like the generalization becomes even more like annoying. So when we call eval, So, okay. CTX dot. What we really need. Oh, wait. What we really need is this to be. Let's call this LM buffer. Let's call this quad buffer temp, and then we're also going to have a buffer called, and now this buffer is going to be called expert buffer. And so expert buffer, we're going to, everything in eval is going to read from expert buffer. So and every expression is going to start with a uint16, and then it's going to have each operation. Okay. So every expression starts. All right. So that makes sense. We can wrap our heads around that, right? Okay. And then we're gonna move to the end. If it doesn't work, we're moving to the end. Okay. So let's see. This is arg buffer, arg buffer. None of this. This should not have. All right. So then we read the float. I don't think anything else reads from the buffer. Okay, sweet. Why would I just ran claim format? Why is it changing where my scroll is? So this, let's get rid of this. And then but what we do need to do is actually eval where we actually don't need to do this size thing, right? Because every eval should have a std size t offset const. So what we should do is ctx.expertBuffer.reader.move to offset. Okay, now we're at the right location. Now we're calling eval here, and we need to actually get that location. So we say something like offset, std size t offset, and this can all be const. Okay, and how are we actually getting the offset? Well, we read it, right? So in eval quad, where's eval quad getting called from? Okay, so it's getting called from stack pop back. Which probably means we want, if eval quad is reading, then that means we probably want eval quad field. We want to basically, maybe what we do is this. I don't think we ever use these. This is LM_IDX. This is quad IDX. This, yeah, element idx quad idx, and then stud size t left idx top width height. Okay. So what are these? Well, when we do this, we could say ctx.stack. We don't have an easy way to. I'm gonna put this in these things. Ct auto back or ctx.stack.back frame dot left index equals. We're just gonna do the read once. And we're gonna do it right here. So in dot read dot stud size t frame dot left. Boom. That way eval quad, we do ctx dot stack dot back dot left. This probably occurs here, maybe. The hell? Yeah. Okay. So let's do one of these. Wham, bam, bam, and then that should be left, this should be top, this should be width, this should be height. Okay, so we've got eval quad. This is sort of like working the way that I want it to work. Or I mean, it looks like it's working the way that I want it to work. I think eval layout doesn't have to change, I don't think. 'Cause I don't think we call eval layout more than there. Okay. I'm gonna run this. Oh, no, I'm not gonna run this. Well, hold on. Element buffer writer. Because this has a pointer. This element buffer writer dot expert buffer equals that, and then okay, let's do something like that. All right, so let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Will it even build? It looks like it built. All right, that's cool. All right, what happened? God, I hate this bullshit, bro. Like, why? Like, that's so like, this is why I need to get this out of a freaking test body and like. Geez, I don't want to set up a whole thing, but actually, fuck it. We're doing it. Example. Boom, new. CMake list file. Boom, new. CPP source file. Main.cpp. Boom. And then auto main in. Yep, because I didn't want to copy and paste all of this. Main include tileS slash paradigm slash v3 slash API include tileS slash engine. using this namespace. Start engine, we're just gonna copy that here. All right, we'll auto include that. Okay, great. Now this CMake project, let's get rid of that. And let's say add subdirectory example. And then what's this gonna be? This is gonna be like add executable tileOS paradigm example, and then main.cpp. Is that it? Is that all I need to do? Let me look at, let's look at engage physically. Oh, we're gonna have to link library. Yeah. Let's go back. Where's paradigm example? What happens if, can we just run it like this? I think everything's already linked. Okay, just kidding. Nothing's linked. Almost nothing at all. So we're gonna do tileOS link. We're gonna link to graphics util engine paradigm, not to the ECS, and not to paradigm twice because I didn't realize it was already there. Now, do we have our paths or no? Include that. Okay. Now it should. Okay, Jesus Christ. See, this is like, it should be. Maybe I'm missing something, but like, why in Google Test it's like, oh, you threw an error. Okay, we're just gonna print out a vague thing that threw, like, oh, it's in the STL. You don't care about this. It's like, yeah, I do care about that. Why is arg buffer empty? We're reading a bad operation, aren't we? Oh. Oh, you know what? Shoot. We actually do need expression end. We actually do need expression end. We actually do need expression end. Expression. There's eval quad. So if we can just read it, which means that I think we're already writing this. Let's just see. I think we like ended up not. So eval quad. Let's look at our stack. Stack has one thing. These are all 0. That's not good. Let's do something. Let's do where do we, let's call like left. When we call left, what happens? Let's try. Excuse me. Let's try this. Or wait, I actually want to see what. I want to see what the size of. And actually, wait. Let's see. Are we still writing expression size? Maybe. Expression buffer. Okay, it's at the beginning. Right expression is going to. Okay, yeah, we're gonna update the size. Okay. Index should be at 0. This expression buffer, okay, reader is still at 0 because we're not reading. Fascinating. Okay. Okay, so that makes sense. Now expression index should be 8. Okay. 8. And then our current element should be 0. See, this is just what I'm like a little bit confused about. See, okay. So then what happens if we go to solve? And we say, our first read. What's our element type? Box. Okay. What is our depth? It should be 0. Okay. Now, what's our left frame index? Okay, that's wrong. Oh, well, that's also part of it, but like these are just like that's just garbage data. All right. Well, that's something to consider. I gotta go take this call, but I'm gonna make another video. I know this one was super short, but I'll make another one, and we're gonna figure this shit out today because, like, honestly, we gotta figure it out. Gotta make some real progress. Gotta start making visual shit because, like, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, people don't want to just see people code all day. So, all right, peace.